So now we are launching on the third canto of this book, The Debate of Love and Death. In the earlier canto, Death was giving his philosophy of existence, how things happened, how they came, and what is going to be their end. Ultimately, according to him, everything came out of nothing and all will disappear into nothing. So it becomes a sort of a purposeless creation. Why should it come at all and then again disappear? You see, purposeless creation. But essentially, the point is he is denying any possibility of the higher powers of the spirit entering into this creation. They will not, they cannot. It has not happened, and therefore it will not happen. Because it has not happened, therefore it will not happen. That is the sort of strong argument he is making. So he is really the great denier of the existence of spirit's possibilities in this creation. And therefore we can see how he is really standing across the path of the divine event, the huge forwarding mind of night. Alone, he stood there denying God. So that huge forwarding mind of night, who is that mind of night? What is that mind of night? It is this gentleman. It is this gentleman. He is standing in the way of the divine possibilities, of the divine event moving forward. It cannot happen. And therefore, if it has to move at all, according to Savitri, then she has to remove him away. She has to take him away from the road, from the block. Either he should disappear or he should get transformed, change. In a way, what is going to happen is he cannot disappear. And therefore, the only option for him is transformation. Savitri has to work for his transformation first, if the divine event has to move forward. See, the mother spoke of the four asuras who separated themselves from the divine source and became independent and opposed the divine himself. She also says that of these four, two have conceded that their role is over and they can move away. But death is still there, and death is not going to get transformed. He denies. And that was the problem the mother was facing all along, the problem of physical transformation. It is locked with the power of death, which is still operating in the physical. So, she has to work now towards his transformation. He cannot be removed away, he cannot be changed at all, you see. The yoga of the cells means that, basically transforming him. Now the other fourth asura, falsehood, or what she calls the Lord of Nations. Now, of course, I have been telling you that whether falsehood is presence because of death or because of falsehood is present death. Who is the cause of whom? Is falsehood the cause of the presence of death, or is the presence of death is going to give rise to falsehood? According to Theo, as the mother says, it is because of falsehood that death is present there. Which would mean that even if death is removed, is transformed, falsehood is not going to go away, according to him. But mother also says that according to Savitri, according to Shrebantu, the cause of falsehood is death. So the moment you remove death from the scene, automatically you have taken care of falsehood also. Falsehood also. So the entire thrust of Savitri is now focused on death, and he is now coming with his full force, what we would call in the form of a debate, in the form of an argument, in the form of encounter, etc. But actually it is an occult battle which is being fought on the occult plane between death and Savitri. So Savitri has to conquer death, has to win victory over death. Her yoga was specific for that, and she was given full assurance that with this yoga you will be able to take care of death in this creation. That is what she is going to do here. Now, until now we have seen that death was arguing from different planes. First he started giving the vital emotional argument, what Savitri was doing, etc., etc. His body's lust, this thing, that thing, etc., etc. Then he elevated his argument to the mental level and started arguing on the mental level also. Now it is towards that Savitri is going to give her answer to death. Answer means she is going to sort of throw her force to take care of this occult aspect of the denier of the world. He is denying, no, this is not possible, this is not possible. It's not an argument, it is a force which is operating. And therefore she has to work on that force itself directly, you see. It's not an argument, mental argument at all, you see. So therefore this canto is a little long canto, about 600 lines, more than 600 lines in two sections. Yeah, there are two sections, 141 and 142. In the in the first section you got 109 sentences, and in the second section you have 190 sentences, quite long one. So about 300 sentences. 300 sentences means roughly about 1,000 lines. More than 1,000 lines actually. It's one of the biggest, longest sections in Savitri, you see. In this section, in this particular canto, there are roughly 60 revisions compared with the original edition of Savitri. Most of them are of a minor nature, perhaps just for one or two, but they are also not very significant. But in all, there are roughly 60 departures between this and the revised edition of Savitri, 1951 and 1993. So Savitri now has a long job to do, big job to do, difficult job to do. Although the title is debate, it's not really a debate in that sense. It is the impingement of the occult force against the occult force. That is the debate. See. But it is a debate also in the sense that practically a great amount of material which is here, the details which are here, you can find straight in the Life Divine. What she is saying here is already said in the Life Divine, but unfortunately Mr. Death, he has not read the Life Divine, and therefore he is not aware of that thing, and Savitri has to therefore repeat the whole of light divine for his sake. Now, she is not simply repeating light divine. People often say that Savitri is after all light divine versified, light divine put in the form of verse, light divine put in the form of poetry. It is not so. Although on a certain conceptual mental level, you may have correspondences between these two, but you can feel really this sort of force which is there even in the arguments which are there in Savitri. They have a different weight, a different power, different strength than what you would see in the life divine. Same portion you read in Savitri and in life divine parallel. You feel that there is a difference between these two in terms of their charge of power which they are present, you see. So that is the power of poetry also, in a way. But he has put something special in Savitri. Actually, Shivendu has left his consciousness fully in Savitri. So, reading Savitri, living in Savitri, being always connected with Savitri, is to be in the consciousness of Sri Aurobindo. Always. You absorb it and it keeps on kind of working on you, see. That does not really happen to that extent, in that manner, in other works of his. Here you feel something fiery, blazing, powerful, luminous, you see, in Savitri. So now Savitri is about to start her reply to death. A sad, destroying, cadent voice sang, voice of death, sad, destroying, the music of destruction. That is what I got here, music of destruction. The voice sang, slipped down, you see. A sad, destroying cadence, the voice sang. See what a beautiful line this one is. You have got sad, destroying, cadence, voice sang. 5 S sounds, sibilants, 5 S sounds. Sad, destroying, cadence, voice sang. So it gives you a kind of purity also to the whole person. A sad, destroying, hidden, the voice sang. It seemed to lead advancing march of life into some still, original, innate. That is what the voice is doing. It was leading life into the innate, into nothing, into the void. Now, it is true that the voice is leading life. See, life is not small life here, capital life, L. L is capital L. The very power, life, consciousness here in existence, that was going to disappear into the void, into the nothing. That is what death is doing. So where is the place of death? Where is his house? Where is home? Where is the realm? It is in the void, in the innate. And he is taking the spirit of Satyavan, the march of life, of truth, into the innate, into the void, into the... And behind them is following the power of light, Savitri. It is that power who is going to arrest that disappearance of life into the nothing. She is there, she is going to hold it back, you see. She cannot allow it to disappear like that, you see. That march. So that march of life is into the inane, and therefore he says it seemed to lead into the inane, but it is not really leading into the inane. It cannot lead into the inane. Because behind them is present Savitri. Had she not been there, he would have certainly gone into the pit. Finished, disappeared. Therefore it seemed, you see, as long as Savitri is present, it cannot happen. Into some still original, inane. So, it is the creation's void for a purpose into which everything will go back. It is, as you have in the very first page, on the very first page of Savitri, the first and the last nothingness. Two nothingnesses. The first nothingness and the last nothingness. That last nothingness from which everything has come up, it is that original inane here. It seems still original inane. So that original inane is not that up there, but it is down below here.